Are you done writing?
No, please.
Hurry up. If you are, hurry up. Let me pause the recording. The angle of deviation for light passing symmetrically through a 60-degree prism is 40. Calculate I and II. Okay, please, let's understand something. We are told that the light passes through the prism symmetrically. What can we deduce from this statement? What can we deduce from this? That the light passes through the prism symmetrically. Akovala, what can you deduce from that statement?
Mr. Diaf,
Mm-hmm.
please, from this, I can see that first of all, we are talking about a triangular prism.
Yes.
And then there will be two refracting surfaces.
So that is that is general of triangular prisms. So I move on and then be specific with what the statement means.
Yes, because the first angle of refraction will be equal to the second angle. No, Mr. Diaf, please, do you mean I should explain it or I should say what I can?
What can you make of the statement that the light passing through the prism symmetrically? What does that tell you?
Yes, because it means that the first refracted ray is parallel to the base of the triangular prism.
So we are at a condition of what? With that statement, with this statement, it means we are at a condition of what? Marvelous. The Nigerian for Mary, we are at a condition of what? If you are anybody can try. We are at a condition of what? Oh, who is completing the statement for me? Nigerian for it means we are at a condition of what?
Yeah. Please, is it minimum?
Pardon?
Please, is it minimum
deviation? We are at a the light passing through the prism symmetrically means that we are at a condition of minimum deviation. Please, are we okay? Okay. So the angle of deviation for light passing symmetrically through a 60 degrees prism, meaning the angle of the prism is 60 degrees, is 40 degrees. So with the statement, it means that the minimum deviation sigma m is equal to 40 degrees. Then the angle of the prism A is equal to 60 degrees. Please, are we okay? Are we okay?
Yeah. Yes, please.
2. So we have to calculate the angle of refraction. Oh, you know that at the minimum deviation, these are what happens. 1, I is equal to E. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of deviation. Then 2, R1 is equal to R2. This is R, this is I. Okay, these are what happens at the minimum deviation. Then it implies that the angle of the prism A, which is equal to R1 plus R2, will simply be equal to 2R. So if you have A and you have to look for R, can't you determine it? Can't you determine it?
Yes, please.
So easily. Okay.
Yes, please.
You say
Therefore,
there.
hello.
Please, just to confirm, A stands for the angle of the prism, right?
Prism.
Triangular prism.
Exactly.
Yes, please. Thank you.
So if I draw it, if I draw this as a triangular prism, this is A, the angle of the prism. Okay. So R will be equal to A on 2, which will be equal to 60 degrees divided by 2, 30. So that's the answer for I. Okay. Now, the refractive index of the material used as the prism. If it's about the refractive index, then don't forget we derived that the refractive index, either nu or mu, is equal to sine of sigma m plus A over 2 over sine of A over 2. We have the minimum deviation, we have A, and so we can find that. Don't forget this is I. You see, we can actually use n is equal to sine I over sine R. Because we can use this because here we have R. R is this, but we don't know I. And don't forget, we can also say that I want to use this formula first to find the minimum, the refractive index. Then I use the main one. Don't forget, we realize that minimum deviation is equal to 2I minus A. Therefore, 2I will be equal to sigma m plus A. And I is equal to sigma m plus A all over 2. Okay, so if you use this to find I, then you can use the second equation, or you forget about the second equation and use the first one to find the refractive index. Please, are we okay? Are we okay?
Yes, please.
Both.
Yeah,
So
please, your line is. Please, can you repeat it again?
what I'm saying is that you can either use the first formula or this one to find the refractive index. Any of it can do. Okay. If you want to use the first one, then the refractive index will be equal to sine of sigma m. Sigma m is 40. 40 plus A is 60. 60 all divided by 2. Then sine of R we have already calculated. Okay, A over 2 is R, and R is 30. So we have the refractive index being equal to sine of 40 plus 60 is 100. So sine 50 over sine of 30. The rest is the work of the calculator. So you point sine of 50 divided by sine of 30, which is 0.5. Please do that and give me the answer.
1.53.
1.53. And that's the answer for the refractive index of glass. So it's not so difficult. You have to listen whether it's a condition of minimum deviation or not. If you are Popo, are you okay?
Yes, please.
So if you want to use the second formula, sine I over sine R, then here, then it means you have to first find I. And I from our formula is equal to the minimum deviation, which is 40 plus 60 over 2. And that will be, the angle of incidence will be 50. So the refractive index will be sine of 50 over sine of 30. And you get the same answer. So it's that simple, not so difficult. Please, is everybody okay? Because we are
Yes,
moving
please.
on. We are moving on to a second question.
Mr. Idia,
Hello.
please, in the exam, how many marks would this carry?
Let me see the marks allocated for the question. Your paper is right here. I think it's a sub question, so this goes for 4 marks.
Yes, please.
And 4 marks is not easy. Okay. All right. Another question. Question 2. A ray of light passing through a prism. I think this is the first question I dropped on the page. The first question I dropped on the page. Let me check and confirm. I dropped a lot of questions on the page. Some of these and so on and so forth. Just try your hands at them. So, okay. Okay, that's a different question, but it's a similar one. So a ray of light passing through a prism, having refractive index root of 2, surface minimum deviation. It is found that the angle of incidence is double. It is found that the angle of incidence is double the angle of refraction within the prism. It is found that the angle of incidence is double the angle of refraction within the prism. What is the angle of prism? What is the angle of prism? So this one is looking for the angle of the prism. I'm going over the question. A ray of light passing through a prism having refractive index root of 2, surface minimum deviation. A surface minimum deviation, meaning that we are at a condition of minimum deviation. Surface minimum deviation. It is found that the angle of incidence is double the angle of refraction within the prism. It is found that the angle of incidence is double the angle of refraction within the prism. What is the angle of prism? what is the angle of prism? So I'm giving you 2 minutes. Just think through it. Just think through it. We are all going to look at it together, but use 2 minutes to just think through the question. Let's see what you can produce out of it. Okay.
Mr. Idia,
Hello.
the refractive index is √2.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
I'm looking for another question on total internal reflection. Vertical angle TIR question. So just use 2-3 minutes to think through while I get you the question on TIR.
Mr. Dia, please, is the question on the page?
Yes, I dropped the question on the page, but because I dropped a lot, I have to make
Mr. Idia, I've gone through, I've not seen it on the page.
this okay. This is not on the page. I just took it. I just took a shot of it. I'm coming. I'm looking for a question on total internal reflection and get back to you. So after going through this, please just try your hands on those questions I dropped on the page. It will be good for your health, okay? So where can I find TIR question? Okay, I have one question on TIR. So let's look at this one. So a ray of light through a prism having refractive index of √2. So first, we are told that the refractive index of the prism is equal to √2. Don't let this deceive you. This is 1.414. So it's a value. Now it is found that the angle of incidence is double the angle of refraction. So the angle of incidence I is equal to 2 times the angle of refraction. Okay, I is equal to 2 times the angle of refraction within the prism. What is the angle of the prism? So we are looking for A. We are looking for A. Now we are told the ray surface minimum deviation, meaning that we are at a condition of minimum deviation. Okay, but the first thing to apply is that refractive index is equal to sine I over sine R by Snell's law. When we substitute our values, we know the refractive index of the glass prism is √2. So √2 is equal to sine of, we are told I is double the angle of refraction. So we have 2R on sine R. That's all. Now, please, you cannot cancel sine RR to get 2O. This is not a algebra. This is trigonometry. So you cannot just cancel. the best you can do is that simplify the numerator. The denominator is simple, okay? The numerator is sine 2r. Don't forget, this is r plus r. And so when you have sine of r plus r, trigonometry, applying trigonometry, the expansion of this is sine r cos r plus cos r sine r. So this whole thing you see is simply 2 times sine r times cos r. Class, are we okay with this? Are we okay here? Are we fine?
Kind of.
Hey, no,
Please, can you
I'm
come
simply
again?
applying this. When you have double compound angle, sine into back a plus b, the expansion of this is equal to sine a cos b plus cos a sine b. But here the angles are the same, r. So you have, it's like having a plus a, 2a. So if you have to expand this, this is sine a cos a plus cos a sine a. Multiplication is commutative. So cos a sine a is the same as sine a cos a. So we can still write it as sine a cos a. So that we have 2 sine a cos a. Okay. So this angle is actually the same as what we have here at the numerator. Please, are we okay?
Mr. Dia, please take it again. The whole identity process and how it relates to the sine
Okay,
r, sine 2r over
Let-
sine r.
Edubia, save your English. I will go over. Save your English for another class. So, in the trig identity, the trigonometric identity, if you have compound angle, this is compound angle. Compound because here we don't have just one angle, we have double. So sine of, if you have A plus B, one angle A, another angle B, the expansion of this is equal to sine A is sine cos plus cos sine. Okay, so sine A times cos of the other angle B plus, okay, cos of, now the angles swap. It was AB. It should be B, cos must take A.
Mr. Adrian, please, I can't see the screen.
Oh, I can see.
I can also
Maybe, is it better? Hello, is it better? So,
No, like the screen is black.
oh, then I'm sure it's a network problem from your end. I hope it's not a general problem.
no, please.
No.
And so please rejoin for me. Okay. Rejoin for me. So if you have this, now our angle is the same. It is 2r, so r plus r. So sine of r plus r, this will be equal to, okay, the same identity, sine of r, cos of, this time another r, plus cos of r times sine of r. But because multiplication is commutative, cos r sine r will be the same as this. So we have 2 sine r cos r. Are you okay?
Yes, please.
So substitute this in place of this. So we have root of 2 is equal to sine 2r is this 2 sine r cos r divided by the denominator sine r. Now sine r can cancel out because this is times, this is also times. So this can cancel this. So you have root of 2 is equal to 2 cos of r. Now you can majestically find r.
Miss
Make me
Lydia,
proud. Hello.
how come this time you are canceling out?
You see, I said before this is sine 2r over sine r. What you see isn't like this sine times 2 times r, so that you can cancel, and then this is also sine times r. No, this is trigonometry, angles. Okay, so this thing you see is not like what it appears at the numerator. This are angle. It's like when you are given sine 60, sine maybe 60 divided by sine 30. You cannot cancel this, and then 30 go, and then the answer is 2. No, this is trigonometry, is not algebra. Are you okay?
So so like sine 2r is not the same as 2 sine r.
Come again.
Sine 2r is not the same as 2 sine r.
Sine 2r means that it is sine, it is actually sine 2r means this is sine 2 times the angle. So if r is 30, this will be 60. But this is not, 2r is not multiplying sine, it's a function. Okay, sine 30 is not, the 30 is not multiplying sine. It is the sine of the angle.
Yes,
And are you okay? So
yes, please.
after expanding it, this is what I got for the expansion. 2 times sine r times cos r. Now sine r is multiplying 2, and 2 times sine r is also multiplying cos r. So now you can cancel. You can cancel sine r over another sine r. They can cancel. Are you okay?
Yes, please.
Good. So this is what you now have. Therefore, r will be equal to root 2 over 2. And this is equal to r will be, sorry, cos inverse. R will be equal to the cos inverse of root of 2 over 2. And this is 45 degrees. Please, are we okay with the answer? Then the question demands that we have to find the angle of the prism. Okay, and we have to find the angle of the prism. Don't forget, the question told you that there is surface minimum deviation. So it means that at minimum deviation, you know A is equal to 2r. So if r is 45, then the angle of the prism will be equal to 2 times 45 degrees, which is 90. So the angle of the prism is 90 degrees. All is well.
Yes, please.
I gave you a similar question where the refractive index is root of 3. So after the lesson, look for that question. It's similar to what we've done, and then apply the understanding in solving it for me. Okay. Afia, Irene. Okay.
JJ.
Are you okay?
Yes.
All right. I want to get you a question on refractive index. Question on refractive index. Okay, calculate the critical angle of a medium of refractive index. Calculate the critical angle of a medium of refractive index 1.60. This is a simple question, but I want to see how you can quickly do this for me.
Mr. Dia,
Hello.
Video.
please can you repeat the question?
Calculate the critical angle of a medium of refractive index 1.60. Yes, 1.60. Calculate the critical angle of a medium of refractive index 1.60.
JJ, please thou.
Yes, that's why I said it's a simple question. Calculate the critical angle of a medium of refractive index 1.60. Oh, you have to finish by now. Nanadra, what did you get? Dromo, what did you get? Akofala, what did you get? Marvelous, what did you get? Afia Pukwa, what did you get? Irene, Adelaide,
Mr. Dia, I got 30.
You got what?
38.6.
Dromo, what did you get?